One thing I keep coming back to when we talk about the amount of manufacturing that needs to occur in this country, sophisticated development of missile technology, building nuclear submarines and the rest of it, is our energy situation. We are now in a really precarious position when it comes to supplying affordable and reliable energy. We can't do any of these defence manufacturing jobs without energy. Is this a national security risk, what we've done to our national electricity grid?
I think, Chris, absolutely it is. Our comparative advantage is in energy. We've got an abundance of coal and gas and uranium. We export that, of course, but whilst at the same time we're closing coal-fired power stations, and there's more and more reluctance from Labor and the Greens. In fact, there's outright opposition to more gas in the system from the Greens, including the Teals as well in Western Australia. The member for Curtin, Kate Chaney, has opposed new gas projects. And so this is a big problem when we're trying to revive an industrial base, which includes not just making missiles, but also submarines in the long-term future. And I think the salient lesson out of Ukraine is you don't want to become energy dependent on authoritarian power. We saw a lot of Europe become very dependent on Russian gas. And so whilst we're shutting down coal and gas, we're increasing our uptake of solar and wind. Where does most of the world's solar and wind come from? Surprise, surprise, it comes from China. And that's a problem for us long term.
Yeah, while they manufacture new weapons and vessels with our coal and iron ore. It is extraordinary. Just get back to this issue of bipartisanship, I suppose, continuity in defence policy. I just want to play what you said on my program here on Sky News last November.
And that's why I said last week in a speech that I gave in Perth that we'll work constructively with the government to deliver bipartisan defence solutions. And we'll oppose anyone who gets in the way of making sure that we have a strong ADF, strong supply chains and the energy requirements that we need to build our defensive capability.
Andrew Hastie, are those days gone? You want continuity, of course, but you're starting to criticise the government for not putting their money where their mouth is. Are you looking to get away from bipartisanship on defence and make this a real issue of political debate?
Not at all. I think we need to work together constructively in the national interest. For us, the country comes before our party because we are facing some of the most challenging strategic circumstances since the end of the Second World War. But we're also the opposition, and in the Westminster tradition, that means we have to be robust in our questioning of government policy. And so whilst we worked very closely with the government to deliver AUKUS, and we were very supportive of that last month, but this Defence Strategic Review, it's got good language and it identifies a lot of the challenges, but there's no new money. And so, as I said on Monday, it was a bit of a magician's trick to release it on Monday, the day before Anzac Day, without any new funding at all. And we're going to call them out on that. And I'm going to do my best to direct the Minister for Defence to make the right changes, and in a hurry, because we haven't a moment to lose.
There are probably two issues here, though. Obviously, money is short. We've got a debt crisis and big budget deficits around the country, so you've got to get the money from somewhere. But also the technology and expertise to develop what we need quickly enough. Are they both problems for us at the moment when we look at what we want to do with missiles and submarines and the like? We just have to accelerate our capability as much as the spending.
That's right. We can't continue to work within the 2.2% of GDP for the defence budget. It's only 6% of overall Commonwealth spending. And government is about making the hard decisions, and we need to up our overall defence spend. I mean, that's a simple fact. If we want to be competitive and we want to actually deter an adversary into the future. But one of the big problems that we have is the lack of human capital in this country. We're about to undertake the biggest nation-building project in the last 50 years or so. And it's not just an industrial project, it's also a technology project, as much as it is a political project, because we need to maintain very close relationship with the US Congress. A lot of the things that we're getting over the next decade, whether they be Virginia-class submarines or a lot of the technology to support that, is all pending congressional approval. So there's a lot of work to do. And we need to be recruiting the best minds from around the world to come to Australia and help us work on this project so that it's delivered in a timely fashion.
Spot on. We've got to get cracking. Thanks so much, Andrew. Always good to talk to you.
A pleasure, Chris. Thank you.